Different's great, but being different for the sake of being different, I'm not a big fan of, right? If you just want to be different for the sake of
technology, but I would hide behind it.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Master Connector Show. I'm your co-host, Rob Genovesi, and I want to thank you for joining us today. If you're coming at us live, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. And honestly, you're making a smart move because live is where it's at. This is where you get to interact with our guests, with us, and maybe get your questions answered. So if you're here, thank you. If you're not, if you're watching this on replay, maybe on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you for there too. And listen, join us every single week as we go live. Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And tune in to hear our amazing, amazing guests. And if you can't, you're busy. We're busy. We're all busy. You're building your thing. But listen, if you can't tune in every week, go to masterconnector.show. See the roster of people that we have lined up so that you can handpick, I need to hear that person. If you look down that list and you go, I need to hear that person, bookmark your calendar so that you can tune in that day. And here's where the magic is. Masterconnector.show will lead you to the person who can answer your question. Everybody's got obstacles in their life and in their business. And once you get that question answered, you can move forward faster. That's the idea here. We're here to connect you with people so you can do awesome things, Speaking of awesome things, 28 years ago, my buddy and I, Steve, we were doing something awesome by chance. We met through a mutual friend. And we started out on our business journey together. Two former shy guys, two introverts. I was clueless. He had a clue. But here we are 28 years later. Came back. Our paths split for a while. Then we came on back. Now we're doing this show. Two guys who became connectors. But listen, he is the master connector. So let's not put this off anymore. Bring him on, Mr. Steve Spiro, the master connector, and now TEDx speaker.
I appreciate that, Robbie G. And you... officially an author. Way to go, bud. Excited for you. Yeah, no, it's been what a crazy journey. Who would have thunk, right? Us two guys, and where we've come. Of course, we all, it's just a journey. So we're still in the process of becoming, but as Hugh says, overcoming to become. But it's been an amazing journey, and I love the fact we're able to, reconnect on this journey together here with you. So. Yeah. What's going on, everyone? Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. So question here for you. What if the most powerful growth strategy available today isn't technology, but genuine human connection? It's a world right now that everyone's talking about AI. Everyone's talking about, ChatGPT and all sorts of technology, automation, all these crazy things. And listen, there's a place for that. No doubt. And I believe that has helped us a lot. It makes things very efficient. But in my opinion, you cannot lose that human connection. In fact, I believe human connection is the true differentiator here. I use some automation, right? I use some AI stuff for creating content and for, initial, maybe some reach outs I have in the past, not lately, but I use it a little bit. But listen, you have to have real conversation. There is nothing better than that. People are wired for human connection. And so although yes, you gotta leverage what's available today. I'm not ancient, although I'm not 26 anymore, but I understand. I get it, right? There's a place for this. But it's definitely super important. One of my talks is the death of the old school sales rep, going from transactional to transformational. And I talk about the world is speaking about there's B2B sales and B2C sales, but what about B2H, business to human? And the ability to connect on a human level is so important, not just on a sales side, but no matter what, whether you're talking to, your employees. And last week we talked a lot about that in terms of, as a manager or a leader of your company, are you treating people as a number, or is it all about the ROI they're bringing, or are they humans that all bring value in their own unique ways? And, my experiment, if you will, I call it experiment because during COVID, during the lockdown, I had an opportunity to have roughly about 7 connect calls on Zoom a day. And I didn't do it for 7 days a week, but I mean, that's like 30, maybe 30 or so calls, maybe 40 a week. And I had a chance to have these conversations. And in those conversations, I started to see how people really need to be heard. And then that's not done through some kind of form of AI or some kind of automation. They need to be heard. They want to know that you're acknowledging them. And they want to hear your story too. And that's, again, something that you can't do through some kind of technology. I know there's this, what are the deep fakes or whatever. Nothing's going to take the place of real human connection. So we're going to dig into that a lot. Again, in the business world, it's all about people, wanting to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And listen, through human connection, in my opinion, that is fine. That is something that you're able to achieve and come about with the ability to connect with people. So I am just pumped about our guest today. I'm pumped to be able to be with you again here today. So if you're ready for my man, Mr. Robbie G, to introduce our guest, type in the comments. Let's go. And Robbie G, I'll pass to you.
All right, let's go. Our guest today is Nathan Schock. That's the intro. With a name like that, you got to be interested in what this guy's going to say. But now listen, Nathan Schock is an author, speaker, business and leadership coach, and team trainer. He's co-founder of 5-4, a consulting and training business that helps businesses grow with fewer growing pains. Please welcome to the show, Nathan Schock. What's up, Nathan?
Rob, hey, how about, what a great introduction. Good energy. You're the introvert? Who's the extrovert? Come on now.
So, overcoming.
Yeah. So thanks so much for having me on the show today and inviting me into your community.
Well, as the introvert, he does the intros. That's the way it works, right? But I'm bummed. Yes. Now we're all overcoming to become, like we talked about, right? So decided to have you on here. We got Christy Lime joining us. Let's go, Christy. And of course, my sister, who I was so blessed to spend a whole weekend with when I went to do my TEDx talk not this weekend, but the past weekend. Just appreciate you, sis. Love you. Glad to have you here with us as well. And then, new friend, Marie-Lise from France is in the house. And she says, absolutely, a technology and AI advance, our desire to need for more genuine connection continue to grow stronger, reminding us that importance of staying connected with one another. Phenomenal. So, and Eileen says she's glad to be here. Good afternoon, Rob, Steve, and Nathan. There we go. Well, Nathan, let's just dive right into it. We've been anticipating this for quite a while. I know we booked this out a while ago, but let's talk about it. We were talking about connection and the value of human connection. So I'd like to community type in #connection, and thank you for your participation and getting in the comments. Make sure to connect with each other and, make sure that you take the relationships outside of just this here and take it outside and get on calls with each other and truly connect. But here's the question, Nathan. Why has human connection become more valuable as our world becomes more digital, in your opinion?
Yeah. Great question. And a lot of the answer is in the question, right? Like, as it's become more rare, and certainly AI and digitization and automation and all those things have accelerated it, but that's just continuing a trend that started decades ago. So I live in flyover country, right? Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And I was driving to the Twin Cities here a few months back, and that took me through Jasper, Minnesota, town of a population of 633 people, right? So, and I'm looking at my gas gauge and I think, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to have enough gas to get to the next town. I hope Jasper has a gas station. And so sure enough, they do. And I pull in there and I pull up to the gas pump and there's no way to pay at the pump. And so I'm thinking, okay, do I have to go inside to pay? No, you just pump and then you walk in and pay, right? And that forced me to go in and have a conversation with the person sitting behind the desk, behind the counter, taking my credit card. And all that is to say is the world has been relentlessly led by business in the name of efficiency, we've been removing human connection from business, whether it's pay at the pump gas, grocery self-checkout lanes, ATMs, Amazon.com, Netflix instead of movie theaters, right? All these things have been removing human connection. And it's something now that so many of us miss and we don't even know. We can't even name it. But by one account, we have 1/20th of the human interaction we did 25 years ago.
Wow.
And by the way, that study was before COVID. I don't think it's gotten more connected since.
Definitely
right?
So
that is why human connection has become so valuable, is because there's just less and less of it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's interesting because I remember hearing a story about a gas station. You were mentioning that, and how this particular gas station would actually have the guy wash your windows for you, and it found that because of that human piece, more and more people would go to that gas station, and because there was, again, a human connection of some sort. And
that used to be standard practice, Steve. That was what that they would pump your gas for you. I can remember pulling up to a gas station and you had to decide between full serve and self-serve.
Right.
And it's like, that used to be a thing and it isn't anymore.
Yeah.
You know, what you're saying there is, forgive this, it's shocking. Your name is going to pop up in every sentence I'm thinking in my head. But when you think about that for a second, the removal of the automatic human interaction from our lives, and for some of us who've been around a while, we remember those days. Now, you go to the pump and it's slide in the cart and get the heck out of there. If you're in New York, you pump your own gas.
Yeah.
They don't even pump it for you anymore. And so you don't have to interact with a single soul. But here's, and this is probably for the audience more so, think about the opportunity when everybody is isolating, even though they're out there. If you're the one who goes, hey, nice car, right? Steve and I used to do this. This is how we taught this is how two shy introverted guys were taught how to meet people. Go to a gas station, get out of your car, pump the gas. And when somebody pulls them behind you, go, hey, nice car. Yeah. And you know what happens? People are like, oh, thanks. And guess what? Mm-hmm. Now you become the most memorable person they ever met. And this has happened to me. I had 10 years go by and I would run into a person that I did that to. And he'd be like, hey, we met at that gas station. So the opportunity is, be the one to start the conversation because nobody else is, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you by doing that, right, you zig when everyone else zags. That is what gives you the opportunity to be memorable, to be different. Yeah. Because they've now looked at post-pandemic, right? 1 in 3 American adults identify as seriously lonely. Mm-hmm. So they're craving connection.
Oh, yeah.
And if we give that to them in our businesses, they will never leave us, right? It is a strategy that is actually doing good by doing good, right? Yeah. Giving people something they need, even if they're not completely articulating that need.
Yeah. And obviously the title is, human connection is your strategy. And I think sometimes maybe people looking at the title and the word strategy, it could feel a little manipulative, but I know you don't mean it that way. And we didn't mean it that way when we came up with the title. It's your focus. It's something, if you really focus on human connection, you're going to see the value. You're going to have loyal customers. You're going to have people that seek you out. Yeah. You're going to have, listen, in the sales world, right? I've been in the business development world for a very, very long time. The more you could get people to open up and share some of their pain points, the better you're going to have in helping them get what they want, right? We know classic Dale Carnegie, if you find out what people want, they'll move heaven and earth to get it, right? And so you just have to, and that's coming through that human connection piece, not trying to pitch, not trying to, vomit on people about information, but let them talk, be curious, be genuinely interested in people. It's so, so crucial. So on that note, I want to talk, we're talking customers a little bit. So let's dig in that a little bit. So community, type in hashtag customers. So what are customers really craving today? And you kind of touched on this already, obviously the human connection, but let's dig in it and you know, and what that most businesses are missing, right? The human connection, but let's dig into that as well.
Yeah. To continue on that line, right? What customers are looking for is more than just products or services. They want an interactive experience. They want to be able to talk to people. I've had the pleasure of working with Joe Pine and Jim Gilmore to design training. They're the authors of the book, The Experience Economy. Before them, we didn't have the word customer experience in our lexicon, right? We didn't know what that was. And something just blew me away when I sat down with them, and they said that 85% of the experience that a customer has with a business is not their physical location, not the atmosphere, not the technology. It's human to human. 85% of the experience is human. And you think about that and you're like, really? But you take one of the founders of the customer experience movement, Starbucks, right? That's one of the things that always comes to mind. Imagine you walk into the most beautiful Starbucks location in the world, right? You're like, wow, it's good to be here. You go in and the barista's rude to you.
Yeah.
Right. Does all that other stuff make up for it? Of course not.
Yeah.
Right. But now imagine walking into a hole in the wall gas station to get a cup of coffee. And again, that person behind the counter is just engaging and fun and has a great interaction with you, right? That's what we're talking about. It's human to human.
Yeah.
And the irony is, if you followed the news of Starbucks over the last 4 or 5 years, they haven't been doing very well.
No.
And they went down the efficiency path. They have what is widely regarded as the most successful business app of all time. Their Starbucks app. But if you've walked into a Starbucks anytime in the last year, there's nobody sitting there. There's nobody at the counter with the barista. There's 20 people sitting down looking at their phone, waiting for their mobile order to show up.
Yeah.
And that's why they've had this decline in same store sales, is because people go, well, if it's not the experience, why am I paying $7 for a coffee?
It's finally dawning on them. Hey, wait a minute. I just paid $7.
Yes. And I love their new CEO has a strategy called Back to Starbucks. I think he is the first CEO in a while there that actually recognizes what they've given up and is trying to go back to that, where you have that interaction with the barista, where you sit down and enjoy other people's company, where you make human connections.
Yeah, certainly brands go through an evolution. And you're right, when you talk about Starbucks, who revolutionized the coffee business, right?
Yes.
By making it that social place. I remember when it first came about, right? You walk in, everybody was used to Dunkin' Donuts. Their motto was, get in, get your coffee, get the hell out, right? They didn't care. They just wanted to process people.
Yes.
So the market was yearning for something like Starbucks, where you can go and be comfy and hang out and work and talk.
Yes.
But, now they've gone to where you're talking about, some people target them because there was so much about the people, and then, well, how you were not nice to that person, so you're the devil now, right? People like to demonize big companies. But now the evolution comes back to, how do you now navigate the complexities of what you just said, Nathan, which is, we do have a social place. People do like our coffee. But now the people have changed in their habits, where they're now looking at the screens. How do we bring them out of that? So I'll be curious to see what they do to get through that.
Yeah. And think of it, Rob, go back 30 years and say, how many people out there were going, you know what? What I really want is, I want to pay double for my coffee, and I want it to take an hour. Right? Who was saying that 30 years ago? No. But there was this huge untapped opportunity for human connection. Now, how do you get back to that? I think what we've seen from Starbucks is training, right? They're actually doing not coffee training, but people training. It's like the soft skills, it's interaction, it's connecting, right? It's like what you guys are talking about now. Starbucks is trying to get all their baristas to do. But they're trying to go back to writing the name on the cup and having that interaction with the customer. And the thing is now we're raising a generation that is used to the phone as their first interaction. So we have to go back to teaching some of these things about how to have an engaging conversation and get to know and understand the person that's in front of you, because as we already said, they have needs beyond that cup of coffee.
I think what you're going to see, Nathan, is you're going to see the baristas are going to be trained to take their phone, and when the person is standing there, since they're on the phone anyway, they'll be able to FaceTime the customer who's 2 feet from them.
Yeah,
that's hysterical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot we could talk here. I know we're talking about customer experience, so I want to kind of go the other side of the world, right? You're mentioning about how now Starbucks employees are getting trained on that. So let's dig into that a little bit. So community, type in #employees. So why does the employee experience have to become before the customer experiences? What is your take on that?
Well, a battery can't give off what it doesn't have.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm not investing in the experience of my people and the people that I'm around, then why would they dream of doing that with the customers? We see this time and again, that if I say, make the customer's time with us valuable, but I'm not valuing your time, I'm sending completely the wrong message. And the great thing is, go back to the newest generation that I made fun of here a little bit, right? But they are showing up at work today, having been told their whole life, you can be anything you want. You're amazing. You're great. We love you. You're the best. Go get them. And they're showing up at our workforce saying, where do I get to do that? Where do I get to be the best? Where do I get to connect? Where do I get to grow? And they want these opportunities. So we can invest in them and change them, and by extension, change the people that we work with. But it's the old saying that, do as I say, not as I do, does not work, right? So because those employees, they're encountering the same things that our customers are.
So on that note, when I think about what you're saying, Nathan, when you talk about the company, right, and hiring the employees to be the people who, can make things happen for the company itself, by letting them, putting their best selves out there, by, employees, by extension, treating the customers better so that everybody can sing kumbaya, company can make profits, customers can be happy, and employees can be fulfilled, right? But what do you say to a company who is still treating their employees like cattle? Is it where's the strategy for that?
Yeah. Well, in some ways, we think about the Great Resignation and the quiet quitting, and right now employees have figured out with the plethora of opportunities out there, I don't have to stay with you, right? I have so many employment opportunities, including self-employment now, that and with the proliferation of work that is remote, you think that there's so much less loyalty now. So as an employer, I have to give the experience that people want. And it's while you'd love it to be, just out of the goodness of their heart, there's also a huge economic benefit to this, right? That's why we say this can be your best strategy, right? It's not just wouldn't it be nice if we were nice to all these lonely people? No, this is literally one of your best business strategies today. Go back to what, you talked about at the top of the show about AI, because this is what's coming with AI is the agentic world of AI, where as a business, I will say to my agent, you know what? We want to have coffee in our office instead of having all of our employees go out to these restaurants. So research all of the coffee opportunities, come back to me with their online reviews, their price, their shipping terms, and all that, and then help me select the best coffee for our office. Again, stripping more of the human out of it. But the hope for business is to say, for that person to say, do all of that, but you know what? I really like Steve's coffee place. So make sure you include them in the list as one of the top options. Right? Because if I don't have that human connection, you just become a commodity like every other coffee commodity company out there.
Well, I'm glad you say commodity because I apologize. Yeah, the technology is great, but it's been screwy on me today. So sorry for the glitchiness, but commodity, right? And so community, type in hashtag commodity, and hopefully we haven't covered this yet while I was out. But yeah, so a couple things, by the way. I feel that there's we could break barriers. One of my keynote talks is breaking barriers to create real human connection in this digital era. And there's a real value in that. And that is getting on, we lost in the employee world, we've lost the water cooler talks that we used to have, right? Because everyone is hybrid or remote or whatever. And so you got to get out and actually have conversations. And maybe it means getting on a Teams or a Zoom call more often. Maybe it's regular and not planned, but just call people and, hey, I was thinking about it, because that's what happened in the water cooler. So you gotta go a little different. But I think it's crucial. So again, I want to talk about commodity. I kind of got off on a tangent, but so here's a question. And as we close down, what causes businesses to become commoditized, and how does connection prevent it?
They choose to become commoditized.
Yeah,
literally, that's it. So go back to the example with Starbucks. By going the efficiency route, people woke up and are like, wait a minute. You go back 10 years before my grandfather passed away. He didn't call him Starbucks. He called him $4. He couldn't believe that anybody would pay $4 for a cup of coffee, but now it's $7. And if I don't have that connection with my barista, I'm going, wait a minute. Why am I paying $7 for a coffee? Because Starbucks commoditized themselves, and banks do the same thing by pushing all of their customers to ATMs and apps and texting and removing that human connection. Now, if I want to move my banking relationship to another bank that is offering me a quarter point better on their savings account, I don't have a connection to prevent me from doing that. I'm just switching to a different app. Right. And so they commoditize themselves.
Yeah. It's the dehumanization. And because of that, it's easy to switch because you're just switching an app. You're not necessarily, there's not a human person that you're no longer dealing with. I remember back when I had my advertising company, I remember we had a name. Her name was Barbara Sulkis, hoping she's still alive and healthy today. But she was our banker, and she would call us if our account was overdrawn. She actually called us and say, "Hey, you may want to throw a little extra money in your account because it's about things are overdrawing." Yeah. So we miss that human connection. So important. But listen,
wait. Your bank doesn't call. My bank calls me when they go, "Hey, we noticed you got a little extra money in the account. Would you like to invest that with us?" But if something happens, they never call.
Yes, they're calling you to sell the commoditization again, right? Back to that again. Exactly. Well, this is great, Nathan. We could go on another hour, but we can't, unfortunately. This is amazing. So I know you have, speaking of giving and the human side of things, I know you have something you want to bless our community with. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And then after that, the best way that the community can reach you.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks. So I co-authored a book with the CEO of St. Cloud Financial Credit Union, Jed Meyer. Jed was a visionary around this strategy a decade ago. And their vision statement is to make a meaningful difference through human connection. So we wrote a book together all about that strategy, about how to make a meaningful difference through human connection in people's lives. It's a book that recounts the strategy and then tells hundreds of stories of connections between the credit union employees and their members. And I want to give it to you for free. So I've got a free digital download of that ebook on my website, nathanschock.com. Just click on Experience Uncommon. That's the name of the book. And you can get a free download there to see that the strategy that we've been talking about here implemented in real life in a business.
It's awesome. And what's the best way you'd like our community to reach you?
Yeah, that's the best way to, right? Is go to nathanschock.com, connect with me there. I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me there on LinkedIn, and I would love to connect with people in your community, because I've been watching and I see what you guys have built here. And so anyone that's a friend of Rob and Steve is a friend of mine.
I appreciate that. And thank you. You blessed our community in a big way. Thank you. We're going to have you go to the green room now, but thanks, Nathan. Appreciate you. All right. Well, phenomenal. So listen, if you like that, next week, same bad time, same bad channel on the 28th, we're going to be episode 245, How to Be Heard, Seen to Earn More with Victoria Huff. It's going to be a great show. Don't miss it. And listen, you know, I mentioned it before, my man, Rob G, insightful new book, Don't Fear the Brand, The Art of Building a Strong Brand That Attracts, reveals how he overcame paralyzing fear to build a strong brand that 4x'd his revenue. Get the inside story and exact strategy, talk about strategy, by clicking the link that is right there in the comments right now. And yeah, so, and, you know, go to masterconnector.show if you want to learn more. By the way, thank you, Yolanda Chen. She's been amazing. I didn't get to shout her out, but appreciate you, Yolanda, big time. But go to masterconnector.show. You can find out about some of the up and coming episodes. We are booked all the way to August. We just not posted on the show site, but you'll see up till I think February, March. But we have a great lineup here. Don't miss it. If you're interested in being a guest of the show, you can go there to learn more on what it takes to be a guest of the show. Or if you want to sponsor an episode like Russ Hedge has done, go to Russ. You know, go there as well. But I want to finish with a quick story. And hopefully I won't butcher the name too badly, but Yvonne Chodnard, founder of Patagonia, built a global brand by prioritizing people, values, and environmental responsibility over pure profit. By leading with humanity and authenticity, he created deep loyalty among employees and customers alike. Yvonne's example reminds us that when you lead with connection and purpose, you don't just grow a business, you become a beacon of light in a world hungry for meaning. Folks, let's make sure to shine our light. God bless, and we'll see you next week.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives